Hello, hello. This is Paper Cuts Included coming to you live from the Ninja Turtle Sleeping Blanket, and that's how I know it's legit. Today we are going to be continuing our Turtle Thursday, looking at the second issue in the Zulli's run on Ninja Turtles for, was it Soul's Winter or Winter Soul? I think it's Winter Soul. So we're going to be looking at the second issue. The first issue was wild. If you haven't seen the artwork in that one yet, check it out. That link will be in the description. Just Zulli's art anyway is wild. It's crazy. It's turtles like you've never seen them before, but it's great. I'm sad that it's only 3 issues. I wish he would have done maybe like up to 6 or maybe just 5, but we appreciate that there's at least 3 out there. And here is the second issue. And before we get into that, if this is your first ever Paper Cuts Included video, we are a comic book YouTube channel dedicated to talking about comic books, comic book art, art in general, artists, and we look at comics under a technical aspect. Like we'll do with this issue, we'll look at the art more so than the story. Yes, we talk about story, but it's mostly looking like, oh, we're looking at the artistic characteristics of the book, talking about how they did it, why they did it, and bring our own 2 cents. This channel is ran by me and 2 of my co-hosts. So, just watching my tortoise. He's exploring his new habitat. Our unofficial mascot of the channel, my pet tortoise, just climbing around. You okay, buddy? Yeah, he good. Alright, so let's bust open this book and take a look at issue 2 of Zulli's Ninja Turtles. And the forward in this one done by Stephen Bassett, talking about how this isn't the turtles you're used to. And what a great opening page. So the first book, our turtles were defeated by the Shredder, and one of their arms gets chopped off. So we're, in the, we'll follow up. Well, what's going to happen? The end of the first book with this turtle might die. So pretty big tension in this one. And they didn't come out monthly. I think it was every other month an installment of this came out. So that's a pretty big jump to wait to see if, one of your turtles bites it. Another important note is Stephen Murphy, who is usually paired up with Zulli, is not in this book. He did the script for the first book, but not for this one. And I think it shows because the story's a little bit different in some of the ways. You see more Puma Blue's approach to this rather than the first issue. And I'll point those out once we get there. Interesting use of the typography, having it, all the way up there, small, then get bigger. I really like how, I forget who does the typography in this. Raw Caswell. I really like his fonts, his typography. I think it's really good. Really good birds, too. Zulli's a great animal artist. Let me know if you know if Zulli's done like an animal book besides Puma Blues, let me know. Because when I tried looking him up on like artist pages, they said he's like a wildlife illustrator. And I didn't know if they were just talking about Puma Blues or other works. But if you know more Zulli work, comment down below because I'd love to look at it. And so, we skipped a page. So in the first issue, our Shredder has his helmet on or his mask on the entire time. He's this imposing figure, the Shredder, fully armored, fully, your samurai warrior, scary, great antagonist to the Turtles. And this one, he doesn't have his mask on for any of it. He takes his, mask off, in this very Doctor Doom-esque pose. Like, you can't tell me that's not a Doctor Doom reference. And is, Zulli is really showing off his figure drawing abilities. He is one of the best artists I have seen as of late. And stuff like this really shows it, in my opinion, So he's victorious. He's taking off his mask because the battle's over. It's kind of the waiting game now. And this great, and I think he even does the body language really well of the Shredder. And it's, I don't know. I could just talk about the Shredder's appearance in this a lot, which we will. Maybe that's part of the reason that it looks different is Murphy's not a part of the script. And in the first issue, he's, armored the entire time. But in this one, he's not. So I wonder if that was if Zulli wanted to show off more of the figure, but Murphy might not have wanted to script wise. So, that's a question hopefully I can ask him one day. And here's one of my favorite parts is the tap 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 as he's you know it's reciting Edgar Allan Poe uh poem. Did he do poems? Yeah, we're just gonna say it. I haven't taken an English class since high school. But it ends and we just see these really interesting uses of tap tap tap, and each one's a little bit, they're the same until we get to this final tap, which is in a very distinctly different typography, and I like that a lot. I think that adds to it. I noticed it when I was reading it, and your reader is going to think out of the box with your typography. It doesn't have to just be one font. Like, don't make it one font for the entire book. Change it up. Think out of the box. Be, unique with it. And one of my favorite points of the book, this crow actually turns out to be an explosive device. You know, it explodes this part of the Shredder's hideout, which interesting hideout. It's not some fortress like in every other turtle story. It's more so like even the crow's Top Dollar's hideout in the Crow movie is what it reminds me of. So very interesting. You know, it's just good. I love the tap tap tap. That's probably one of my favorite things from this book is the typography at the beginning. And then a great explosion, great use of just throwing some inks on it, like even on the, I don't know what the technical term would be for that, but outside the panel, almost gutter work, is there's even ink right there. And I think it looks really good that way. It really adds to it. So think like that. Or like in this one, Zulli's throwing around probably white ink. So think out of the box. Think, throw some ink on a page, see if it works, see what doesn't. Like I said, if you draw a page, draw it 5 different ways, see what works, see what doesn't, and you'll get some interesting results. Like him throwing all this ink right below the title of the book, Soul's Withering, which I think's great. And even, effing around with the typography, a line through the O, the W and the I being separated. It's really interesting and cool. And I'm gonna remember that, and I'll probably, use that in my own artwork one day. So now we cut back to the turtles in a 2-page interesting spread with the almost funerary scene. They have to perform some ritual, which again, I love how Zulli does his Splinter in this. Splinter is like a shaman-esque character in this. He's not necessarily a former samurai warrior turned into a rat, or a rat who watched his master practice. He is a full-on like shaman who can control, or he can't control, but he utilizes mystical arts instead of, I'm a master kung fu artist who's a rat now. And so he's preparing to consort with a higher deity, and that higher deity is looking awesome. Like, this reminded me of the skull guy in Red Nails, and I wonder if one looked at the other. Like, it just looks a lot like it. And you can tell Zulli studied his Mr. Bones. Uh, you know, that's what he called those skeletons in like your science classes, Mr. Bones. Which some of those weren't acquired legally. Some of those were actually human bones. Not anymore, hopefully. But no, we get to see this awesome use of compositions with Splinter. Like, I thought he was gonna cut himself when I read that, but he's trying to summon this deity, and this deity don't like how Splinter summoned him with an iron sword. But really good use of line work, really good. Just it's an awesome 2-page spread. Even this like almost gesture drawing the deity into fruition. Really good. Like, just practice stuff like that. It works. Like, once you read this trilogy, you're never gonna forget it, and that's probably a testament to how good it is and how good Zulli as an artist is. There's no way I can forget this now. And like he does really good at building up the character of this deity. It's a gesture drawing, and then it starts forming. Like beginning to end, and the end looks so good, so detailed. And it's not just the skeleton, it's a skeleton of nature. It has reeds and plants growing out of it, and that looks so good. I would love to see the original version. But now we go back to Shredder. See how he's doing since he just got blown up, and he looks a little worn and torn. He's not, if we go back to the front, you know, let's see, like he's very, it's got this very clean face. It's got some wrinkles, but not too. But then we cut back to uh, him getting blown up, and it's a much darker face. He's using those tones, all this line work, and it really sells that, hey, this dude almost got blown up. And I think it looks really good, and he is not pissed, but pissed. This is a very interesting take on Shredder in this book. He's not an outright antagonist, I would argue, because he calls the people his people, you know, and he declares, his hand is forced. So maybe he would have let, the rat and the turtles just live off, wouldn't hunt them down. He won, and maybe that would be the end of it. But now that part's over. He's got to go get that abomination, in his words. And it shows, his attitude affects the entire town. The kids are quiet and serious. The hospital emergency rooms are strangely placid. The destitute have a sudden windfall, and there's something in the air. As this couple's arguing in a very, this guy almost looks like Gavia from Puma Blues, and he stops him, and he commands the pissed off man to love one another. And that's so different. I have never seen someone do Shredder in this look. Maybe in the newer IDW where he's like a mentor to the turtles now, but before that, having Shredder be not necessarily a villain, but just a figure in the book. Like, I guess he does start the conflict trying to fight Splinter, but he's so much different than any other I'm not gonna try to say that, any other portrayal of Shredder. And so now we cut back to Splinter trying, the other mystical arts, trying to get this deity to save his son. Save him, please. Heal him. Your children beg of you. And but the deity's like, these are not my children. You know, they have no manners. They walk and talk like a man. Like, if this is the god of nature and they walk and talk like a man, then are they really nature? And I think he sells Splinter's really destitute look. And this deity is just so good. And I don't know if this is the same deity that's in the next book. I don't think they are, but we'll see pretty soon. Yeah, like I would just love, like, I wonder if it works like Darrow, and each panel is a giant piece of artwork. I would love to see that. But no, Shredder is, or Shredder's coming. Because in a cool little factoid, the rats can literally talk to Splinter, and Splinter can understand them. I think that's really cool. That's something I wish the Turtles maybe did more of, is have Splinter be more than a kung fu master, or not kung fu, but but he can talk to rats, and they're like, Shredder's coming, Shredder. And we cut back to, like, what's happening to the brother, the turtle who's been hurt, and he's sleepy, he's cold, he's dying. And I think they portray that really well, as he looks dead already. He's lying down, hasn't moved an inch, hasn't even gurgled a word in this entire book. you know So Shredder's coming, and we see another, like, Splinter's probably as much of a villain as Shredder in this book, because he's commanding his three remaining sons that can move to hide, and that once the Shredder falls upon their brother, that they should strike. So sacrificing one to bring out the others, and it's just great artwork. I love the way he draws the turtles. I know a lot of people are probably not going to, but I think they're very well done. You know, they're different. They're golem looking. They're supposed to be each of the elements, and I think he really plays that really well. That they are of nature, but they have been corrupted by Splinter. Because Splinter's not a hero in this. I would argue he's, you know, just as much a villain as Shredder. Because next page, or I guess soon, soon. We see the Shredder finding him in this. I still think they modeled the Shredder after Doctor Doom in this. You know, he's even got the some little mystical powers Doctor Doom might have, like in as a Triumph and Torment, the Doctor Strange Magnola story. You know, but just some great artwork, great typography right there. Him hunting down the turtles. They don't overdo it. Like if this was a Marvel book, there might be a whole page different, or a whole, you know, not page, but whole issue difference. But yet he finds them in less than 2 pages. And that probably testifies to how well the two sides maybe know each other. Because even in the first issue, they found each other super quick and fought each other. You know what I mean? But just, you know, great artwork, great storytelling. Just knowing when to wrap it up, get it there. You know, don't make it too long. Make your book fluid. If you muddy your book up, your fans aren't gonna like it and they're not gonna come back. But make it, you know, since he's only got 3 issues to work with, do the most you can with 3 issues, and he does. He does it really well. Like if you need to figure out how to make a 3 issue story, look at this book because it's super successful in my opinion on making a 3 issue story. You know, and then once he finds him, Splinter claw him, rend him, kill him. Like I think it's really good. Zulli's story in this. But like I said, Splinter is always behind the turtles. He's never having himself fight. He's using his sons to fight. That's why I say he's as much a villain in this as anything. And you know, this is essentially the cover. You know, besides Splinter being right there instead of, you know, he's there. So, you know, I wonder if this was intended to be the cover, but they wanted to show Splinter more. That's why I want to see the originals. I would love to. How big are these? You know, are they available? Like, this is a frame piece right there, you know? So is this one. I love Shredder's look. He looks so much better without the mask than with the mask, in my opinion. And I love his freak, do not touch me, like very prideful, very honorful, you know, like a Shredder should be. I don't like the Shredder when he's just a flat out like, I am a villain, I'm going to take over the world. Here, Krang. Like I like this you know, he's an honorable samurai, you know, I don't know if I'd call him a samurai. I don't want to offend if he's not, but an honorable Japanese, you know, citizen, not citizen, but person. And you know, this great little use of showing the turtle moving and showing those motion lines, you know, and it's already over. There's not a big fight, you know, it's already over. And why is the Shredder here if not to fight, to heal? He's healing the dying turtle, which I don't know why I always thought this was Raphael, but maybe it is, maybe it isn't. They don't give any of the turtles names, and they all fight with katanas. So, but I always assumed the hurt one was Raphael because that just seemed like a Raphael thing to do, you know. And just some great and you know interesting showing how to heal someone with the mystic powers, you know, with now I'm watching my tortoise again. We rearranged his habitat, so he's just exploring it now. Yeah, he's doing good. Okay. Back to the video. But no, just an interesting way showing this mystical healing. You know, I love this page with the 3 turtles in the background. That's one of probably the. There's not a bad panel in this book, but this is one of my favorite panels, and also the Splinter panel. It's so good. Like the first issue and the second issue are so solid, and I'm hopeful the third one stays it, which it probably will, since this is Zulli art we're talking about. And Zulli's just very creative, like, you know, doing a pretty much another gesture drawing of the face, going to the wounded turtle. you know, and then it's over. The healing is over. We don't know what's going on, or, like, he didn't overdo it. Like I said, it's a one and done page. If he's only got, what's 24 times 3, is that so 60 72 pages to work with, make the most out of your 72 pages. And he doesn't overdo it. Like, probably the most overdone thing so far was that fight scene in the first issue, and I think that was only 4 pages, but 4 amazing pages. Go watch that video if you haven't yet. you know but he's done, and rightfully so. um Splinter is, why have you done this? And everything beautiful bleeds, is Shredder's response. So I maybe reading into it, Shredder knows that the turtles are not the villains, like they are pawns to Splinter's use, or I don't know. Maybe seeing how Splinter wanted to kill him with just an explosive. I don't know. I could theorize a bunch of stuff, but let me know what you think. Why did Shredder heal the turtles? You know, and he's not out of the woodwork yet. This turtle needs a will of his own. He has to fight mentally to be healed. We cut back to the Foot Clan headquarters, and you know something's going on. The geisha character is telling everyone to get out of there quick. Something's going on. Something's in the rubble where the explosion happened with Bleeder Beautiful. What's going on? In the last page, uh another an amazing panel of some deity. I don't think it's the same deity. I'm very curious to see how this book ends. This is my first reread of it since I read it junior year of high school, and I'm loving it. And what a great bird! Like, Zulli is so good at drawing animals. It's not funny. Uh, and great typography right there. Not as I remember the first issue having a bit more interesting typography, but it's good here. Like, this probably could have been a silent book. Probably not, but it could. Like, you don't need to. I guess you do need explaining the deities, but like, this could have been silent. And I think, that's a testament to how good of a storytelling you are. Is if you can make your book silent, pat on the back, bump your grade up a letter. Like, it works, when people try to just add text and text and text to make a book work, which muddies it. Like, we've talked about talking heads. There was not a single gosh darn talking head in this book, and it works so good. Like, this is probably the most talking heads we get, and it's not. You can't even consider it. It works so good. So study this trilogy. If you only have, like, if you're working in a zine and you only have, like, you know 50 pages, or if you're working in a zine for like 10 issues, you only have 50 pages to work with, or something absurd, study this kind of artwork. Study how you make the most out of 72 pages, because he does. I don't think anyone can argue that Zulli didn't accomplish the job of making a great story. It was so good, I want more of it, and I'm sad there's only 3 issues. I wonder if there was ever supposed to be more, and that's something hopefully I can learn one day. So, but if you know, let me know down in the comments. But no, what a great way to end this book, and a great way to what's gonna happen. Is there gonna be a final big fight conclusion with the Shredder and the Turtles? Like, how's this gonna happen? Well, I guess you have to wait a month and see. But I've never heard of Scorched Earth, but I'll have to keep an eye out for it. A Turtles book ad, and that's it. That is Zulli's second book out of 3 of his Ninja Turtle run. It is amazing, like the first one, and it's probably only going to get better by the third one. Like I said, if you only have like 50 pages to do a story, study this run. Study how good he does. He does every page, because he makes every page count. He doesn't muddy it. He doesn't congest it with unnecessary panels. It's good. Um, and that, I guess that's my takeaway from this trilogy so far, is make every panel count. You know, it's not like Puma Blues where you had like 27 issues to work with. You only had 3, you know? And he's doing it so well. So if you liked this video, made it to the end, thank you. It means a lot to me. If you found something you liked, comment down below. Comment if you think this is the craziest Ninja Turtle story ever. Comment what you think I could be doing better. I'm growing at this with you guys. But, it's been fun. I'm having fun doing this. Tomorrow's video is going to be a Frank Miller Friday. We're going to be looking at issue 3 of Ronin, which and it kind of falls off a little. The ending really saves it, and I can't wait to talk about it. So, yeah, if you made it to the end, like, comment, subscribe. It really helps us out. And I guess I'll send you on out with some marching orders. Make more art.